Today on English Win, I am going to show you the 4 things you need to sound fluent with your English pronunciation. Is it embarrassing when people think you said one thing when you really meant another? Chances are, pronunciation is your issue, and there's more to pronunciation than just saying the right sounds. So here are the 4 things you need to get good at to have fluent English pronunciation. Number 1 is target sounds. This is what most people focus on when they learn pronunciation, and for good reason. Without saying the target sounds correctly, people will not understand you. Here's an example. The servant was loyal to the French royal family. That is an example of a sentence said with decent English pronunciation. Now I'm going to sound as much as possible like an Asian person trying to say the same sentence without having learned the target pronunciation sounds. The servant was loyal to the French royal family. Okay? So I don't understand very well what people are talking about if they don't use the correct target sounds. Fortunately, I'm a teacher. I listen to people with many different accents, and I'm better at it than most people. But the average person is not an English teacher, so you need to work on your target sounds. The second and equally important thing you need to know with pronunciation is linking your words. Now I'm going to say another sentence that gives an example of linking words and sentences together smoothly. Our net profits are bigger now than they were in 2015. Alright, so here is an example of someone who may have gotten all the target sounds perfectly, but they're still learning how to link words together. Notice that it will sound a little bit robotic. Our net profits were bigger now than they were in year 2015. I can still understand most of it. They're working on it, but it is a little bit more choppy. Okay? So by learning how to speak smoothly, by learning how to connect words seamlessly one to the next, while still saying each word in the sentence, makes it easier to be understood in English. Let's go to the third one. Intonation. When you hear me or any other native English speaker talk, you're going to hear the pitch or the notes that we're using go up and down. Here's an example of that in fluent English speaking. Before I knew it, all my work was already done. What else could I do? Notice the what else could I do? Before I knew it, all my work was done. Did you hear the difference? Now here's the same person. They might have done good linking, they might have their target sounds, but they haven't learned intonation. Before I knew it, all of my work was done. What else could I do? The biggest complaint I have with it is it sounds boring. Most English speakers will have to use a lot of willpower to listen to that for a long period of time. If you want English-speaking naturals to listen to you, intonation is a must-have skill. The fourth and final aspect you need to pay attention to with pronunciation is stress. Some words are made up of many syllables. Here's an example of a 1-syllable word. Fox. You know, little animal. 2-syllable word, noodle. 3-syllable word, animal. 4-syllable word, education. Each of those words have a different syllable that is stressed or is hit just a little bit harder than the others. I'm going to show you another example. Someone who has their target sounds, someone who links their words, somebody who has intonation but hasn't quite learned the art of stress. Martin's Bistro is famous for its best-selling pesto Alfredo noodle. Stress is, I'd say, almost as important as target sounds. A perfect example of how linking words can change the meaning of a sentence are the following 2 phrases. worthless, which means worth nothing, 0, or worth less, which means that an item had some value and then it became worth less, a little bit less value. Not 0, but just it went down a little bit. Because if you don't stress the appropriate word, it becomes very difficult to understand. And this is very key to being understood in English. Let's go over the same sentence as an expert English speaker. Martin's Bistro is famous for its best-selling pesto noodle Alfredo. So there you have it, the 4 critical pronunciation skills: target sounds, linking words, intonation, and syllable stresses. When you have all 4 of those lined up, I won't even be able to tell where you're from because you will be pronouncing your English so well and so fluently, and you are sure to be a winner at English. So if you like this video and want to know more about pronunciation and other English things, please subscribe, like the video, and if you have some English-speaking co-workers, colleagues, or friends who you learn English with, please share this video with them so that they can win at English with you and we can all win at English together.